KKR has just smashed every little piece of dignity and loyalty that RCB fans had towards the franchise. Because, this was a shameful performance. 182 runs on a slowish wicket, and what do your bowlers come out and do? The KKR bowlers themselves, the opposition team, gave you the perfect plan on a platter. And you still didn't execute it. They gave it to you. They literally handed you. This is what works on this pitch. And they just didn't follow up. Alzarri Joseph again bowling bouncer after bouncer. I'ma just hit the bouncer, dude. I'm paid 11 crore for the bouncer, and oh my god, please kick him out of the team. After seeing the last match, I said that he had shown a little bit of improvement, but now it's just all gone into the gutter. Like, he doesn't take information into his head, and that's the scary part. How can a human live like that? How can you even call this a rivalry? KKR versus RCB, Gautam Gambhir versus Virat Kohli, Yash Dayal versus Rinku Singh, Siraj versus Phil Salt. Throw it all out the window. We are not even half the team that KKR is. They've pretty much come to Bangalore every time and won every time. I think Bangalore's only won once against KKR at home. Today it was Sunil Narine again. And the way he was striking it, how much did he strike at? Oh my god, this was just... 213, 47 runs of 22 balls, 5 sixes. This just reminded me of that partnership between Chris Lynn and Sunil Narine in 2017, where they just scored 105 runs in the power play in 6 overs, and it just felt like it was that kind of brutality. RCB could just never recover after that, and all credit goes to KKR. They have literally blunted RCB. All the hope that every fan had. The crowd was just silent pretty much the entirety of the match. That's when you know you've won, and you know you've won good. It all just comes down to having a plan. And as I said before, KKR gave it to you on a platter. You saw what they did in their bowling innings. All their slow balls, their cutters worked well. And I know RCB is going to give this excuse of, it's more nighttime now, so the dew's going to set in and it's going to be an easier batting pitch. You had no right to be bowling the amount of fast balls that you did in this innings. When you compare it to KKR's, you nearly bowled less than half. What was Alzarri Joseph doing? He just bowled bouncer after bouncer, pace delivery after pace delivery. He's clicking 150 when you're meant to be bowling 120 on this pitch, and please get rid of him. If you're not going to throw him out after this game, then I'm just giving up hope on RCB for this season. So, this is the state of all RCB fans right now. I think the only one time that RCB won against KKR was when Mohammad Siraj got those 2 maiden over spells and picked up 2 back-to-back wickets and all that nonsense. But that is long gone. Those are years gone by, and now it's a whole different scenario where KKR has just been dominating you. Gautam Gambhir is sitting there and laughing again and again. It's just all smiles for them. It's fine to be bowling faster balls in the power play because, the new ball is going to be hard. The slower balls is going to sit up in the pitch. So, obviously, you can't really go to the slow ball then. But in the middle overs, there was no excuse. There was no excuse at all from the RCB bowlers, except a Vaishak Vijay Kumar, who bowled really well on that pitch, giving just 23 runs in his 24 balls. And at that point, you can say that Vaishak Vijay Kumar, this kid, this impact player, has bowled so much better than Alzarri Joseph. So if you're looking for a player in the middle overs, Vaishak Vijay Kumar has just lifted his hand and said, I am gonna be there. Take me instead of Alzarri Joseph. That guy does not belong here. I'm from the state, right? I play for the state. Get me in. I'm going to win. I'm going to give RCB the best chance of bowling in the middle overs. Vaishak Vijay Kumar himself has given the plan or the recipe to success on this pitch. And meanwhile, while he's bowling, at the other end is Alzarri Joseph, who's like, hey, I'ma bowl my bouncer, yo. It's gonna work because I'ma bowl that magical delivery. I'ma hit them on the head and they're gonna get out, yo. Just no. Just no. Kick him out immediately. I do not want to see his face ever again. If he plays the next match, I don't know. I'm just going to throw my laptop screen and just... there's nothing left to do because I know RCBs are losing at that point. They're giving him too much faith. This guy has not put a single... This guy doesn't have a single brain cell to absorb information. And it... How many times am I going to say this? But it just doesn't show. He's not giving the vibes of absorbing information. He doesn't have the street smarts that this kid Vaishak Vijay Kumar is giving. So play him instead. Just please. I pray, please get rid of Alzarri Joseph. Who was the smart guy in the auction table who's like, yeah, I need to pay 11 crores for this dude, man. He's got that bling on his chest and I need that. I'm gonna take that gold and I'm gonna sell it because he's mine now. I mean, 11 crores for Alzarri, Joseph. That must have been the biggest joke in the auction table. I mean, the way Phil Salt batted, getting 18 runs in that first over, he just dented Mohammad Siraj's confidence. It gave him flashbacks from 2023, where Phil Salt for DC was once again smashing him, where he got a 50 in that game. But yeah, Siraj could just not handle it, you know. And when he came back for his second over, you could just see the sadness, the depression in his face, and it just you could tell at that point that KKR had won the match because there was no coming back. Oh yeah, Yash Dayal. Who could forget Yash Dayal versus Rinku Singh, the battle that everybody's been waiting for. But it didn't even matter because at the point that Rinku Singh came in and Yash Dayal was bowling, they just needed a run every two balls, so it didn't even matter. It was kind of funny at that point because you're like, Rinku, just don't get out to him, you know. But he's just such a class of a player that you know he's never going to do that. So Yash Dayal, man, that drop catch too. It was a sitter. It was a sitter of a catch, and you couldn't hold on. I mean, every RCB's fans' hopes and dreams fell with that catch. And I mean, even KKR dropped so many catches, but at that point it was Glenn Maxwell who was just giving catching practice to everybody. So I don't know. Uh, this is just depressing. So in the three games so far, RCB has been what? They've lost brutally against Chennai. I mean, it was a comfortable win for them, even though at some points you could think that RCB was in the game. Then they barely just beat Punjab Kings, who is probably alongside RCB one of the worst teams in the competition. Meanwhile, KKR have just ended the game in the power play. 30 runs of 20 balls for Phil Salt, and the ball that he hit too, he hit it straight to square leg. It was timed to perfection, but he was just unlucky in that point. And then there was Sunil Narayan, who people were just bowling bouncer after bouncer because you know he has that weakness. But what he does is just he gives himself some room and he just whacks it. He just whacks it for six, for four, and he just didn't stop. 47 of 22 balls. I mean, as an RCB fan, I always feel like he always comes off against us. And you know, this winning streak of every team winning at home, I knew it was going to end with us because RCB just has this knack of breaking streaks. Meanwhile, the bowling performance of KKR, Mitchell Stark being paid 24 crores, is maybe another joke in the auction because 11.75 economy today. I mean, 4 overs, 47 runs, no wickets. Didn't really look threatening at all. Didn't really get a lot of swing either. So is he valuable enough? Not at all so far because two games for KKR so far. I mean, it's early in the season, but he hasn't really shown too much potential for them. Meanwhile, Harshit Rana has been bowling incredibly for them. Today, 4 overs, 39 runs, 2 wickets. He actually bowled a lot better than that. He was the first one who identified the surface, bowling those slower balls, those cutters. And Andre Russell followed up, being the best bowler on the day, taking 2 wickets, 29 runs in his 4 overs, and an economy about 7. So that was just brilliant from him because he learned, he took in the information, and he kept it, and he utilized it perfectly. Of all things, Virat Kohli was struggling to hit Andre Russell. So that just shows that KKR bowlers came back towards that 15-16 over phase and bowled really well to restrict them to 180. Anytime that RCB was scoring runs, it was against the pace delivery. Because I remember that over when Andre Russell was bowling, the 2 6s that Dinesh Karthik hit were both pace on deliveries. And again, in the final over versus Mitchell Stark, I don't know what he was thinking. He in the 17th over that he was bowling was perfect. Every ball was a slow ball. And then suddenly in the 20th over, he's like, oh, I got to take that magical delivery, you know? And it just didn't pay off because I think he went for 17 runs in that final over. So a lot to learn for both teams, but KKR definitely looking like a strong contender for the playoffs right now. So we've basically just scratched the surface of how much damage KKR has done to RCB in the recent past. But let's go back to that batting innings of RCB where Virat Kohli was the standout batsman, 83 of 59 balls. Pretty much carried the innings. Then there was a Faf du Plessis who started well, hit that beautiful lap shot for 6 over the wicketkeeper's head. But then the mistake that he made was going back to back with that same shot. Obviously, in that situation, when you've hit a bowler for a 6, the bowler's going to fight back. So they're either going to be bowling a bouncer or some kind of variation. So in that situation, it was the slower ball from Harshit Rana, and he he executed his plans well because he bowled the slow ball. Faf du Plessis made the mistake of going back to back with the lap shot and hit it straight to fine leg. It was such an easy catch for Mitchell Stark, so he departed. And then you go down that batting lineup, and then there's a Cameron Green who continues to bat at number 3 because Rajat Patidar seems to be in the worst phase of his life, considering the amount of confidence he has. It just doesn't seem like he has any. So Cameron Green comes in, looks quite scratchy to begin with, but then he goes after Sunil Narayan, gets a 4-4-6, and then suddenly he's batting at a strike rate of 180. So he did get a bit unlucky with his dismissal because it hit the pads and then ricocheted onto the stumps, but Andre Russell was bowling well at that point, so he kind of deserved the wicket. But then in came Glenn Maxwell, who had different ideas today of just giving hand-me-downs, catching practice. That's all he came for. And eventually, third time's the charm, and Rinku Singh, who is an excellent fielder, is never going to drop that. I don't even know what Sunil Narayan was doing because he didn't even put a hand to it. It just straight up fell through his whole body and it went for 4 basically, right? And then came Dinesh Karthik, who's basically been the savior every time. Without Dinesh Karthik, they would not have even won that match against Punjab Kings. So when a team is doing well, you need at least 4 to 5 consistent players, and then on and off, there's these like mind blowing innings that these 1 or 2 players have. So that's the recipe for success. And so far, it's RCB's not giving any confidence. They'll probably finish in the table 7th or 8th because KKR not only won by 7 wickets, but with 19 balls to spare. 19, that's basically an innings defeat in Test match cricket, considering the T20 format. If those 19 balls played out, how much do you think KKR would have gotten? Another at least 30 runs, right? So they were looking to go at 210. So it just shows that RCB has not been capitalizing the power play, losing an early wicket or two. Virat Kohli is the only one who's been showing any kind of consistency alongside Dinesh Karthik, and that's just not good for the team because now Rajat Patidar is kind of in a hole. So if RCB keep losing, they might have to like force Rajat Patidar out as well, and then bring in a Mahipal Lomror who was striking it really well last time around. So RCB's impact players and that lower order are the ones who have been really dishing out the damage against other teams, and the big names who you were commenting about at the start of the season, Faf du Plessis, Cameron Green, Glenn Maxwell, Rajat Patidar, these guys have not stood up in the slightest. You need to be consistent. You're being paid the big bucks. So far, what's been happening? It's Virat Kohli who's carrying the innings. Then everybody else gets out, and then Dinesh Karthik finishes it off. So there have been a few cameos here and there, but those aren't really consistent performances. So who is going to be consistent in that top order? Whether that's a Faf du Plessis or Cameron Green, one of these two has to step up because they just need to like obliterate the opposition in the power play, just the way the other teams have been going about it. SRH, MI, KKR today, they've just dominated the power play. RCB had a decent one at 61 runs or so in their 6 overs, but I will still criticize the fact that Anukul Roy, who just came in, bowled a lovely over of just 3 runs. Nobody's really taking the attack to him, right? Who's taking the attack to the spinners in the power play? I know Virat Kohli is not that guy. I was surprised today in the fact that he himself went for those slog sweeps against Sunil Narayan and Varun Chakravarti. Because in the past, just the matchup between Virat Kohli and Sunil Narayan has never been in his favor. He's always been the sort of player to just tap it around for a single and get out, sort of. But I was quite surprised that he went for the slog sweep and it actually worked. So I was proud that he did that. But besides him, somebody has to step up in that power play and go down the ground, go use your feet against the spinners, because that's one real lacking point that I can see from the RCB batsmen. Nobody's stepping out to the spinners. Venkatesh Iyer, you thought during that middle phase, oh, there's about 79 runs to get in about 65 balls. It's close, but considering the fact that it's a slow pitch, it could still be anybody's game, right? It's probably like still 70-30 in KKR's favor, but there was still a chance, right? But then Alzarri Joseph came in, just kept bowling the quicker deliveries, and everybody on this pitch has told you to bowl a slow ball, and he just doesn't do it. Venkatesh Iyer is coming down the crease, hitting them for 6, hitting them for 4. Shreyas Iyer is basically playing a runner ball at that point because he doesn't have to take a risk. And it's just shameful from Alzarri Joseph. Please play a Vaishak Vijay Kumar ahead of an Alzarri Joseph. You can even play a Will Jacks in the top order at that point. Play your 4 overseas in the top 4 at that point. I don't care. Just get rid of Alzarri Joseph one way or the other. Whether it's getting Lockie Ferguson in, getting a Reece Topley in, or even playing a Will Jacks at the top of the order. I don't care, just do it. I mean, just for a second, forget the fact that Alzarri Joseph has been paid 11 crores in the auction, right? Sure, it could have been used somewhere else. Okay, the RCB management had faith in him. But just realize the fact that nobody's spoken about Tom Curran as a replacement, right? Nobody's talking about him coming into the 11 at all, right? Because you have a Lockie Ferguson and a Reece Topley ahead of them. I mean, is he meant to be the replacement of Cameron Green? I don't think so. So why did they buy him? They could have easily bought a foreign spinner in the auction, and under these slow conditions at Bangalore, which maybe the RCB management was not expecting, they could have gone for a Keshav Maharaj, as I said before, a foreign spinner. He was there for the taking, and now Rajasthan Royals have picked him up as a replacement for Prasidh Krishna. So it just goes to show that you should have all bases covered, right? And they just don't have a quality spinner in their lineup. Karan Sharma is on the bench. He's not going to do much, right? He's just going to get whacked. He's going to get whacked for 13 and over, maybe pick up a wicket or two, but that's not good enough. I mean, KKR is looking so solid at this point because they got the perfect replacement of Jason Roy at the top of the order in Phil Salt, who also keeps wickets for them, so they don't have to play a Ramanallah Gurbaz. Then there's a Sunil Narayan who's just giving them bonus runs at the top of the order. I mean, in the first game he got run out, so that was unfortunate for him. But this time around, 47 runs of 22 balls just broke the chase early in that power play. And I mean, his runs are always a bonus. I mean, KKR does not even care if he gets duck out because this is his job. He either gets runs quickly or he gets out quickly. It's one of the two things. Venkatesh Iyer came in today and he looked sublime because even when the slow balls were being bowled, he came down the track, brought some pace into his momentum and just smacked it for 6 and 4. So he was using his brains. Then they don't even have a Nitish Rana today. Even without a Nitish Rana, they broke the chase down so easily, and this team is looking so solid. The only weakness they have is that Mitchell Stark factor, because, I mean, how much ever of a world-class bowler you are, the pressure is going to get you when you're being paid 24 crores and you're not stepping up time after time. So besides that, Andre Russell's also not going to give you 4 economical overs every time, right? You're not going to get this sort of pitch where you can just roll your fingers over it and pick up easy wickets. So also the fact that Sunil Narayan and Varun Chakravarti were expensive today against a side who is known to struggle against spins. So those are the few worries they have in that bowling department. But as long as they're winning, it doesn't matter, right? So KKR are now number 2 on the points table with a net run rate of plus 1.047. So they're looking really good. They have a settled unit because KKR's strength is they have a perfect 11, right? It's okay, they don't really have good backups, but as long as their 11 keep playing and winning, it doesn't really matter. So they're set in their mind about the combination that they're playing with. The fact that the other players like Ramandeep Singh and Anukul Roy, who aren't really big names, have stepped up for them, it's really good signs. So what have we learned today? RCB does not have a good bowling lineup, which we all already knew, right? Alzarri Joseph has gone ahead and taken his title to another level, right? Because I heard in commentary that every time he bowls his first over, he goes over an economy of 11, which means he's just playing in a different league. The IPL does not deserve him. He deserves to be playing in a different league entirely. So, besides that, KKR smashed RCB and pretty much everybody's confidence with that. So, now there are 3 teams on top right now: Chennai, KKR, Rajasthan, all looking really good. I mean, I don't know what to say anymore, so that's just the end of my rant. Complaining about RCB's bowlers, Alzarri Joseph, KKR was brilliant with the bat, they just smashed them in the power play. And yeah, RCB never recovered, so that's my rant for the day. I'll see you next time.